Welcome back to Factual America, the channel where we cut through the noise, dig deep into the facts, and unmask the strategies shaping our nation and our future. In today's episode, we're taking on one of the most talked about and controversial topics of the last few years: the Great Reset. What is it? Who's behind it? And, more importantly, how does it affect your wallet? Buckle up, because what you're about to hear could change the way you think about money, technology, and global power forever. Let's set the scene. Imagine waking up one morning to find that the dollars in your bank account aren't money in the traditional sense anymore. You can only spend them on certain things. Maybe you can't donate to your favorite causes or buy that gas-powered truck. Sound far-fetched? This isn't some dystopian movie plot. It's at the heart of the Great Reset, the sweeping vision pushed by some of the world's most powerful elites. So, what exactly is the Great Reset? Well, the World Economic Forum, led by Klaus Schwab and joined by corporate giants, heads of state, and self-proclaimed visionaries, has been open about their desire to reshape capitalism in the wake of global crises like the COVID-19 pandemic. Their rallying cry? Build back better. But better for whom? The phrase sounds innocuous. Who doesn't want things to be better? But peel back the layers, and you'll find a blueprint for radical change that reaches into every corner of your life, including your money. Most people hear Great Reset and think it's just about economics or environmental policy. But it's much deeper. The true battleground is your financial freedom. Central to this vision is the rise of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. On the surface, it sounds innocuous. Digital dollars, seamless transactions, maybe even no cash and no clunky credit cards. But look closer. The one thing that makes cash truly free is that it's untraceable, unprogrammable, and, most crucially, it can't be censored or frozen by anyone. With a CBDC, every transaction you make can be tracked, recorded, and analyzed by government authorities. Imagine a world where there's no such thing as anonymous spending, where every cup of coffee is data and every donation is monitored. If you think this is some far-off future, think again. China has already rolled out its digital yuan, and the Federal Reserve is actively studying their own version, known as FedNow. Here's the twist that should really make you sit up. CBDCs aren't just digital cash. They're programmable. What does that mean? It means the central bank or government can set rules right into the currency itself. Maybe your green CBDCs get used for organic food, but not for red meat. Or your monthly carbon allowance is exceeded. Suddenly, you can't buy plane tickets. Donate to a cause on someone's blacklist? Your funds are frozen. This isn't conspiracy theory. It's being openly discussed in policy papers around the world. The real shocker is how quickly the dominoes could fall. If cash disappears and private banks become obsolete, all your money is one policy update away from being turned off or limited. Don't believe it could happen? Look at what happened when Canadian truckers protested. Bank accounts frozen, private donations blocked, under the guise of national security. Now imagine that level of control. No court order required, just a push of a button, universally. Who benefits from this? Certainly not the everyday American. The promise of the Great Reset is a more inclusive, equitable future. But in practice, it hands unprecedented power to unaccountable bureaucrats and global corporations. Decisions about what you buy, who you support, and even how you live could be made not in Washington, but in boardrooms in Davos and Brussels. Someone might say, but digital currencies will end financial crime and make life more convenient. But history teaches us that convenience often comes at the price of freedom. Cash isn't just a relic of the past. It's a shield against surveillance and government overreach. When all the transactions are trackable, we don't just lose privacy. We lose the power to dissent, to support controversial ideas, to stand apart from the crowd. Let's take a look at the motives behind the Great Reset. Because this isn't happening in a vacuum. Global crises, from pandemics to climate emergencies, are being used to justify extraordinary interventions. The World Economic Forum openly calls for stakeholder capitalism, where governments and megacorporations work together to decide what's good for us. But who holds them accountable? Who speaks for the little guy? The pandemic was the perfect pretext. Lockdowns, supply chain crises, and mass unemployment made people desperate for solutions. Suddenly, radical economic ideas that once seemed unthinkable, like universal basic income, digital IDs, and a cashless society, started to feel like the new normal. Under the surface, these measures all have one thing in common. They centralize power and erode individual agency. Now here's something that rarely gets mentioned. The Great Reset isn't just about money. It's about values, about redefining what's important and shifting the balance of power away from families, communities, and faith groups and toward distant technocrats. When money is programmable, so is your lifestyle. The consequences could go far beyond economics, to free speech, religious liberty, even parental rights. Let's not kid ourselves. Big tech is salivating at the prospect. A programmable dollar means algorithms could dictate what you see, read, buy, and support, based not just on your preferences, but on approved behaviors. Imagine Amazon or your bank refusing service because of your political views. We've seen the warning signs: social media censorship, deplatforming, cancellation. Now apply that same mentality to your bank account. But wait, what about democracy? Isn't America founded on the idea that the people decide what's best? Here's the paradox. The Great Reset claims to be built on democratic values, but in reality, the decisions are being made behind closed doors. When was the last time you voted for the board of the International Monetary Fund or the governing council of the European Central Bank? True democracy dies when elites decide the common good by fiat instead of by the consent of the governed. Many Americans are waking up to these dangers, but the media, by and large, paints critics of the Great Reset as conspiracy theorists or right-wing extremists. Ask yourself, is it extremist to want privacy, financial independence, or freedom of choice? Or is it simply American? The more we're told to stop asking questions, the more we should be asking them. Let's talk solutions. The first is awareness. The more people know about the true aims and methods of the Great Reset, the harder it becomes for elites to implement it unchecked. Talk to your friends. Share information from trusted sources. Ask your representatives hard questions about their positions on CBDCs, financial surveillance, and the power of unelected organizations. Second, support the alternatives. Independent community banks, cryptocurrencies that value privacy, and cooperative institutions are all bulwarks against centralized control. The more we insist on choice and competition, the less likely we are to be herded into a single, controllable system. Third, never forget that our Constitution guarantees rights that predate any digital dollar. The right to private property, to freely associate, to speak, worship, and live as you choose. These are American values, not relics. Any system, no matter how modern, that threatens those freedoms must be resisted with every legal and political tool available. So, as we close, let me leave you with this. The Great Reset isn't some abstract debate for economists and academics. It's a plan with profound implications for your daily life, your values, and your freedom. The choice isn't between chaos and control. It's between unaccountable power and authentic democracy. Between risk and freedom. The question is, will we rise to the challenge, or will we sleepwalk into a future that was never truly chosen? Now, it's your turn. What do you think about the Great Reset? Do you think digital currencies are inevitable? Or do you see another path forward? Sound off in the comments and tell us what topics you want us to cover next. If you value freedom, privacy, and honest debate, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Because here at Factual America, we believe an informed citizen is a free citizen. Until next time, stay watchful, stay wise, and God bless America.